No, then mate, all right.
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Yeah.
Good, good.
Cheers for doing this, mate. Appreciate it.
No, that's all right. Like I say, it was a bit when you get to see things back on social media and stuff. It's good to just have to look and go, I remember that, and then get the kids in and go, look, see.
Yeah. I'm like over Manchester way these days. Is that where you're originally from?
Yeah, originally from Old Trafford. So yeah, are you joining Manchester?
Yeah, it's good. I'm in Sale, so not too far away from where you're from. Yeah. Where are you these days then?
I'm now at Lincolnshire. I'm in somewhere called Sleaford, just outside Lincoln.
Oh, okay, I've heard of
And
that.
if you
Yeah.
know it or not, it's a bit small, but yeah, it's nice and quiet days rather than say the bustle of cities now.
Yeah. I've heard of the band Sleaford Mods. I don't know much about them, but that's why I know the place, I think.
Yeah, something like
um, Taking it back then, Gavin, like obviously from Manchester, like how did you end up at City?
that. Well, like I say, first I started off in School of Excellence. I didn't start football when I was a kid until I got into just before I went to secondary school. Then most people start when they're about 6, 7, or whatever. I just played in the streets, and then we went just before I went to secondary school. My Sunday club, who I just joined, had a scout. Was with Man City, Man United, School of Excellence. So I ended up going there for a bit, and then just before I signed schoolboys, Man City came in for me, and then so I did schoolboys with Man City. They then have a did that for a couple of years, and then they've got like a contact with, because I weren't getting kept on after that, I don't think. So they said, do you want me to put you, well, ask a few clubs who we know, and then do a few trials and stuff, and see if you want to carry on footballing or not. And so I went, well, okay, let's do a trial, and Hull was one of them. So I went for a trial at Hull, and yeah, I managed to impress somebody. So yeah, Simon and YT pretty much straight away.
Okay, how old were you at that point?
16.
Right, okay. Because I mean, I'm reading here you ended up playing when you were 16.
Exactly, that's why. It was a bit of a culture shock. It was a bit of a whirlwind. So yeah, I think the person who was watching was Bernard Ellison, I think his name was,
Yeah.
and his assistant was Billy Legg. Tom, I still actually speak to Billy Legg now and then on Facebook. So, but yeah, I think yeah, I think he said I challenged the keeper, or Jeff Lee was watching as well, I think, at the time, and I challenged the keeper and weren't scared of going in. So he went, right, I will have him. So that's how I got my signature, he said. So we did it that way.
Okay. And obviously like a difficult season to join. Were we kind of fighting relegation as soon as you started playing, really?
Yeah, pretty much it was. And because we all know a YT, so you're basically just looking at, let's say, getting in, just growing basically. So you're just learning and getting into a new club, and first time you're at a football, so-called professional football club. So yeah, just getting used to that, but also in the background you've got financial issues, and yeah, like I said, the club looking at relegation. It was a bit of a eye-opening, put it that way. Good start to football, because then you know exactly how the bad things are. So when the good things come, then you appreciate it more.
Yeah. And then am I right in saying your first game was actually against Coventry, who were Premier League at the time in the cup?
Yeah, so I didn't play too much of the youth team games, because I pretty much straight away went into the reserves team, and then I sort of did well in there, and then yeah, they put me on the bench, and then I came on. Told me I was going to Coventry. I was in the squad, so usually in the squad you look at you do the kits and you look at the people's boots, put the kit out, and help the kit man basically. I didn't think I was going to be in the squad, and then he said, "Oh right, no, you're going to be on the bench." So that was a bit of a shock, and then actually coming on, and yes, a nice introduction to Williams. I don't know his last name, first name, I think. So Williams, his elbow into my back, going up for a header. So yeah, I thought this is the time we've made it. Yeah, welcome to football.
Oh, was it Paul Williams?
Paul Williams, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So because I won the first one, and he went, "Oh, I'm not having that again. And then that was it. And it's just come straight through the back of me the next time. So, yeah. It was
So how did the likes of Terry Dolan and Jeff Lee compare to the coaching you'd had before, kind of thing?
Well, at City, it was only like, say, they weren't full-time coaching. So it was like 3 times a week, and then you pay the games, I think, as a schoolboy. And it was Colin Bell, to be honest. So it wasn't too bad a introduction. And before that, at School of Excellence at Man City, at United, sorry, it was what was his name? It's just gone.
Who's that again? Sorry, youth coach at City.
No, but Man United.
Right.
Nobby Stiles, sorry.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So Nobby Stiles was doing the School of Excellence there, and then at Man City it was Colin Bell. So the 2 very good players, great players, basically. So no, it was just like say, it was all new to me, and it was just getting used to it. And that was, say, my first club, so I didn't really have anything really to fall back on, and I just thought that's how it was. And we did a lot of running, a lot of fitness work, and as you gradually go on in your career and you see things, you knew why they did that. But at the time, it was like, oh, can't just do something else. It was like, so yeah, it was, yeah, a lot of running at the time, and a lot of people complaining, but they were sort of starting. It was a new changing of the way people trained, so more new technologies and new advice was coming in. So things were changing anyway. It's more like sports science was starting to come into it. So it was slightly just before that. So yeah.
And you're playing semi-regularly during that season. Like, how long were you kept on UIT contract?
I was literally just that one season. I had one season at MIT, and then I started playing towards the halfway through towards the end in the first team, and then I decided on a professional contract when I turned 17. So the year later, it was good.
Yeah. And who were you playing up front with? Did you start with Dino?
Well, Linton Brown was there as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, when I did come on, and Dino was off and on, and then they say Linton Brown, and then when I actually signed my contract, I think they bought Dwayne Darby. So it was me and Dwayne up front as the tag team, so to speak. So
yeah.
Good partnership in the end.
And then just some of the standout games. One that stands out, probably for the wrong reasons, is that Bradford game with the riots. I mean, how are you reacting to that as a 16, 17-year-old?
Yeah, like I say, I was just got into the side, so I was still buzzing anyway. And then what they did at the beginning, the police decided to change where the home supporters were because the Bradford supporters were bringing quite a lot. So they decided to move all the home fans from I can't remember the big stadium. What's the big stand?
Yeah, they put them all into the south stand, didn't they?
Yeah, the south stand. So they moved them to the supermarket stand, and because the other side of the pitch was pretty much derelict, so they were caught that was gone. So yeah, once we walked out and warming up, you sort of run into the side where you think your home fans are, and then no, they're not. They're this side. So that sort of started everything off. It was a bit of a change then. So the fans were happy that they got moved, and yeah. So, but that for a game and atmosphere was the best one really, and still probably the best experience in the game. Yeah.
Okay, right. So in terms of atmospheres, it's right up there.
Well, with that one, just because of what they did, and they changed everything, and then plus it was like say I'm still young, and then when the game starts and I scored the first goal as well, I'm like, this can't get any better really. But as soon as that happened, you seen the fans then come on the pitch and celebrate and try to go to their home side and taunt the Bradford fans, and then you got the police coming on with the horses and stuff, so they go off, and then it happens again and someone else scores. I think they equalise then, don't they? And then the Bradford fans come on the pitch and tries to get over to the Hull side. So yeah, that was the whole game just made it, yeah. And plus, it was like made the news and TV and everything. So yeah, no, it was a good atmosphere to play in, good game to play in. When you're playing edgy things like that, it brings out a bit more, and they do stick in your mind. And yeah, that was probably the one of the best ones.
Yeah. Can't imagine you played in many stranger games than that in your career, to be fair.
No, and like say to have it so early on as well. It's just what was riding on it as well, because Bradford needed to win to go up, didn't they? So it was literally what made the day, and then what the police did and what the club decided to do, given the the Bradford fans, the home side, it was eventful.
And we've kind of skipped over your first goal, really. It says it's sort of home to Bristol City. Came in a defeat, but must have been a big moment for you personally.
It was, and I just when you messaged me about having a talk, I had a quick look. It's good to see. I think it was Tigers TV. Have a bit of archive, and which is quite good. And so I watched it back, and from what I remember, I was a lot higher, and it sort of came down and flipped. But yeah, it was a bit lower then. But yeah, I did mishead it, and it come off my shoulder, and it just went in. So I do remember that day. But I'd like say, because when I've headed it and I've just gone, wow, lucky that went in, and I was just about to run back, and I go, oh wait, we're losing, better get the ball, and then got it back. So no, that was great. And some of the the YTs, who obviously I was still one of them, and they've seen me do that and everything. No, it was good. The banter was good, and they were good times.
So at that point, you've still got like your YT duties and everything, even though you're playing in the first team.
Yeah, but I didn't have too bad ones really. It was there's about 2 of us or 3 of us cleaning out the away dressing room, what we were changed in. And I also used to do the shop because of the supermarket around the corner, and people used to travel in from just outside Hull. When you come in the morning, the pros can get breakfast and whatever. So we used to send someone to the shop, and I was one of them who did that. So them 2 weren't too bad, because you used to get keep the change and stuff like that. So others people have, like say, your boots and cleaning more of the stadium, which probably you won't be able to do now because of health and safety and everything. But yeah, mine weren't too bad.
Were there any other players in the youth team at that point that were getting, into the first team kind of thing?
Just I think there was the one just before was Paul Fewings.
Oh, of course, yeah.
He was the main one. Who was the year before me. He's one at that time. I can't think too many more in that era. But I know after he was it Dexter, because he followed me, because I think wanted Dexter Blackstock to follow.
Oh, is it Dexter Tucker?
Blackstock.
Yeah.
Blackstock, because I played with Blackstock as well. But Dexter Tucker was supposed to be replacing me. That's the reason why Mark Haley decided to sell me. But I think the real reason was that Mark Haley, obviously he's a striker, and I'm the striker as well. So obviously position-wise, you don't really want some. If you can make him some money at the time as well, let's say I think we just changed ownership then, but with the financial stuff and everything, and to bring in his own people, because he just came, I think it was more likely me leave rather than, and they got say someone's coming up and who they believe that could do things and help the city a bit better, but we'll see. Yeah, no, it's say because when you get there, you've still got say first year pros, well, just a bit bigger than the other YTs. So they're the first it's when it's a different system to how it is now, the academy system, and under 23s and all that. So you basically have 3 different squads, with the youth team, the reserve team, and the first team. And the reserve team was mixed up of first year pros, the youth team, and the first team who are trying to get back fitness and stuff like that. So when the people who were in that one were like say Paul Grice, which was I think he came from York. I think they got him from. He was a good ball playing midfielder. Ian Plant at the back, centre half, and Gav Haig was another one of them. But yeah, you also had Roy Carroll, who was in there, and I think the emergence of him getting into the first team and then subsequently going to getting sold to Wigan, I think it was, wasn't it? So I think that helped the club stay afloat for a bit and stave off the closures. But say it wasn't quite enough, was it, at the time? But I do think that, especially like Roy Carroll, the way he got into the side, and then, like I say, I think they also the sell-on clauses. I think they must have had a sell-on clause, but they missed out on something there because he went to Man United after that, didn't he? So
was he a similar age to you when he got in the first team?
Yeah, like I said, because he was about, I think, a year older. So we sort of, I'd say, spent a lot of time outside the game as well.
He's a bit of a character, apparently.
He is, yes. He's chilled out a little bit now, but at the time we were kind of mad Irishmen. But he was. And that's what keepers are, though, aren't they? They go for silly balls at people's feet, direct people's feet. So have to have a bit of craziness to be there. So be one of them. But no, I think that was the one I missed mainly. But I think him did help the club, especially like say I think they did have a sell-on clause and his progression and his career. So I think that really did well.
Yeah. Is it someone you kept in touch with or anything?
From afar, because I think he's back in Ireland now. I think he set up his own coaching company. So goalkeeping coaching. So, and he's also, I thought he was with Northern Ireland at some point, doing coaching there as well. I think he's done well. He's done well with his career. We sort of trying, like say, with the squad we had in our UT, we sort of do meet up when we can do. We've met up about 3 or 4 times now. So we do try and keep in touch, like say, and meet up when we can.
You hear and read stories about Mark Hateley, like heard from Richard Peacock about when he started himself in the Newcastle game, and I think he did the same in the Palace game away, which obviously comes at the expense of the likes of you. Did you feel it was warranted that he was doing that?
Yes, especially the Newcastle one, because like I say, we were training beforehand and everything was fine, and then all of a sudden got up there and then they go, oh, by the way, you're not in the squad today, so you're going to be sat in the stand basically, so you just help out doing the clothes. And you didn't have an inkling before that, and then all of a sudden that happens and you're just sitting there, you're going, as a young age, you're thinking, something that went right, something went right, because one minute you're involved in the squad and everything, nothing. As soon as he comes in, and then all of a sudden, then you go. As the football club, you then talk, and the ones who are not in the team talk about what's going on. And I think we pretty much came up with that same point of I think he's helping himself to say he's a player coach, isn't he? So you're going to pick who you believe who it is, really, who should be playing. So, but to be honest, his assistant Billy Kirkwood, he did help me, and he did talk, and he did pull me aside, and he did try and smooth things over and everything. But I sort of knew from that point on that, I think my time was a bit numbered, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do a lot for City as a player, Mark Hateley. I think he scored 1 or 2 penalties, but I think his time had been done at that point, I think
you could tell, especially in training, he was stiff. As I say, it was quite, you could tell that his body was reacting to his career, and it was getting very much towards the end of it. And he had his own ideas, and like say, you can't begrudge somebody who's trying a thing, and he tried, but obviously it didn't quite work in a way he probably thought it would do. It did actually bring in some good players who I got to play with one of my heroes, like said, which was David Rocastle. So I used to watch him growing up and that, and to actually see him train with him and actually go on the pitch with him, it was something I would never forget. And then not too long ago, that he unfortunately passed away, didn't he? So yeah, no, it was good to actually find out players like that, and Glenn Hodges as well. When he brought him in, he was, yeah. When you play with them sort of that quality and that sort of players, you can do things and you make a run what you would normally do all the time, and nobody would find you, or sometimes they won't see you. They would, like say, especially Glenn, you just sort of just pinged one straight up, and it's then it's down to you because the ball's perfect for you. So if your touch is poor, or you're then isolating and saying, right, well, come on, you need to be better than that. So that's it brings out the better player in you when you play with quality players like that.
Yeah, obviously, like just going back to when you first got in the first team, do you find there are the players that are there certain players that take you under the wing kind of thing? Was there some good characters in there?
Yeah, especially that first one. I saw some things on the bus I can't now not see. I can't forget, but also I won't say a lot of things I saw. But yeah, there was a bit of effort when you've got, like, say, the likes of oh my gosh, Linton Brown and Dean Windass, especially them two together. It's, yeah, some crazy antics went on. But yeah, at the same time, when it comes to the matches, and Michael Quigley was from Man City actually, just before me, so he was up there and he talked to me about things and getting into the side and showing you how things are. And then Warren Joyce came, and yeah, it's they do, and that's what the benefit. They know when you're young and what raw talent you may have or you may not have, and they try and improve you, and they try and help give you some advice to improve yourself. And like I said, looking back at the games, you can tell I was quite raw, and you just head down, run like headless chicken sort of thing. And as you progress and you see your career progress, you sort of slow down and you try and make better choices. And yeah, that only comes with experience. And if you listen to the people around you and to try and get you there quicker than being a cocky youngster trying to think, right, you know it all, I think that takes longer to try and settle in. So I was always the one who listened. I'm a bit of a shy person, so yeah, it was good to have them there to try and help you get him.
And then you mentioned the start of your second season in the third division, and Dwayne Darby coming along. So were you his strike partner at the beginning of the season then?
Yeah, no, I was. Yeah, that's how this Terry sold it to us and said, right, okay, this is how it's going to go, and we'll look to build from yous. And no, it started off quite well, I think, and then injury hit, which was a bit of annoying for me. But yeah, when he came in, and I think he was a 23, I think it was at the time. So he'd been at a few other clubs, so he had a bit more experience than me. But now he came. We talked a lot, and we seemed to get on, and we got on the pitch well, so it seemed to work. So it was good times.
Yeah. I mean, it must, going from that Bradford game straight into that Darlington game at home when he scores a hat-trick, obviously a much better feeling around the club.
Yeah, exactly. And when you come in like that and you score a goal, throughout 3 goals straight away, and you feel confident, you feel like be able to do something this season, and maybe not say go straight back up, or just to maybe playoffs consolidate because of the way things were changing and things in the background and everything. But yeah, that's my first time getting injuries and having to deal with that. And unfortunately, that then started my career of managing injuries, unfortunately, because I was I won't say pacey player. I was quite quick. That was one of my strengths. once you start losing that, well, when you start getting an injury with that, then the confidence drains a bit with thinking, oh, is it going to go again, or is it? So and that's what then starts playing on your mind, and having to deal with that one as a youngster is pretty hard. Which I found, which when you look back after your career, once you finished, you know that had a bit more impact than what you thought it did at the time. So,
and what injury was it? Because here it says he scored against Mansfield in the October and then didn't play again until the January. Was it in that game he picked up an injury?
Yeah, well, I was just flat out sprinting for a ball, and then my hamstring decided to ping, and I literally just like someone shot me, and I stopped. I just fell. I couldn't move, and then at first, when I got back into the changing rooms, he went, the physio had a look and went, oh, so it's a bit of cramp. Right, okay, that just shows the time and everything. So I was like, right, okay, that's fine.
Well, even though like your leg's killing, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I put a bit of ice in it, and then waited for the swelling to settle down a bit. So it's cramped, but it's got swelling, but never mind. So we settled it down, and then we tried. I tried something, I think, a couple of days after, and very quickly I thought, no, there's something wrong here. And then we had a proper check, and yes, it was my hamstring. And then then I managed. I was out for about 3 months. Yeah, like you said, about 3 months, wasn't it? So doing weights and building up every other bit of my body. Came back, started playing again, I think, and then my other one went, my other hamstring.
All right.
And then that's how it then started. This alternative. I think at the time, I think the treatment and everything combined with what they know then and what they know now, and it could have been a bit better to then help me prolong my career. But I think it started off badly, so it then didn't last long.
But you still, I've seen how you managed to get some goals in winning games during the rest of that season, and you're playing pretty regular. Were you able to like get a run of form?
Not as when I first got into the side, and that feeling of enjoyment and thinking, right, okay, I'm going out here and I'm more likely we'll try and score a goal. That sort of confidence. Then, like I said before, you have a bit of doubt whether you can actually get through the game. And then I started thinking that, wow, I managed to get through that game without getting injured, rather than thinking about, right, how can I influence this game and how can I help the team score or whatever. And that's what I started thinking, wise, just getting through the games. And that's, like I said, that was a bit of hindsight afterwards when I've finished playing football, because I finished quite early. You then look and go, well, them impacts were quite a lot. And yeah, like I say, I can't not what I actually done in the game, because I started quite early in the game, but I did finish early as well. So I managed to do what I wanted to do, and I probably didn't fulfill my talent completely, but I managed to get almost up there.
And talked about the troubles and the fans' thoughts on Terry Dolan and the ownership at the time. I suppose it must have just become the norm for you, but how do you remember like Terry Dolan's reaction to all the crowd and everything on all the protests? Because he's quite level-headed.
Yeah, when I first got there, you could see the sort of confidence and the relaxedness in him at first, and then you can gradually saw the pressure telling. So you would listen to some of the interviews, or you would see him on the way he was around the training ground or on the training pitch. Then you say, right, okay, you sort of notice that, there's a bit more issues going on. And then when, as a youngster, because you usually get there first as a YT to then get everything ready for the day's training, or because you start you have to get everything ready first before you start as a YT training. And then we got there early in the morning, and I can't remember the actual date, but we got there and the gates were locked. And you go, right, but no one's told us that, oh, the gates are going to be locked or anything. So you're like, right, so what do we do here then? So we have to be locked out of the ground or anything. So that's when you know the financial aspects of what was happening at the club was serious, because literally they closed the club up and we couldn't get in. So I think the sale of Dean Windass to Aberdeen was the one what helped keep the club going for a bit more than probably what it would have been previously.
And I mean, are you, as like a squad of players, are you kind of itching for a change in ownership and manager? Can you like remember how he felt at the time?
The older players pretty much did, because you at that age you sort of just going along. Because I think he's great, because he brought me in. He played me when I was 16, and I think they were great managers in my eyes at the time. And then you sort of listen to what the older players are saying, so they do have an influence in your dressing room, and yeah, you then you start to see probably the decision making of what Terry started doing, and then like I say the interviews, and then you start to see the pressure. So it does have a big impact, and like I say the chairman, and then you see the chairman a bit more now, and then the chairman starts coming down. You don't really see the chairman, and then so I always thought, oh, well, the chairman always comes down here and has a chat, but you don't. And so yeah, you could tell the pressure was ramping up, and you knew that something was going to happen. And in the end, it did need a change to try and stop what was inevitable, really, and no club where it seemed.
And we've had a couple of players on. I think Richard Peacock and Steve Wilson said initially everything seemed quite professional under Mark Hateley. Is that how you remember it?
Yeah, like I said, him and Billy Kurt. Billy Kurt was the. I seem to got on a bit better with what because he taught more. Mark Hateley came in and he was just short, sharp. Really didn't really say much, because well, not to me anyway. Because obviously I believe that because I was in his position, so he thought what he might have done in normal any other football. If someone's in your position, you're competing against him, so you're not going to give him everything. So I just took it as that sort of thing. But because Billy was the one who explained everything and sort of tried to keep the team spirit. And but yeah, they came in with all these ideas and explained the ideas, what they're going to have, and I say the recruitment of the people that they brought in, and the quality of the people they brought in as well on loan. And you were thinking, right, okay, let's see where this will take us. But as a personal thing, then you then feel yourself getting frozen out. At first, I don't think I was injured at the time on that period. So I was, that you're not going to you're getting a chance in the way the training went and the squads you were in and if not in, and then they've got saying, oh yeah, we've got such and such coming up in the background. So little hints started coming out with me personally that, right, it's probably your time to go, it's time to leave. And because I think that was me ending my contract that year, or there was another year on top of it. So I knew that either I was going to move on to somewhere else or at the end of the season. And that's what my mind, quite early on, that's how my mindset started going, just the way the comments and stuff he had made and how it was to me. So yeah, it started off great. It started off like it was a professional club. He tried to get everyone to wear suits like he was at Rangers at the time. And he tried to turn the club that way. But when you're in League 3 at the time, League 3, I think it was, and then I think it was a bit too quick what he wanted to try and implement, and the quality of players, he probably couldn't get his ideas to them. And like I said, I left halfway through that season, so I didn't see how it progressed in the end firsthand. But yeah, it obviously didn't work, did it? So
no.
He failed.
But you were still scoring goals. I think you even scored in your last appearance for us. But did you still know that that probably wasn't going to be enough to keep you?
Yeah, I didn't know. Like I say, I keep going back to the training and the training pitch, and that's what I remember, because it's quite a long ago now. And that's the main thing I remember. When it didn't feel like I was a part of anything in it, and that was a shame, because, like I say, I felt like I was just starting to go, because I was in, I think the season before, like I say, I was in one of the players to watch, and when they used to do these things in the papers and stuff like that, and I felt confident in thinking, right, okay, how do I establish myself in this side now, and how do I push on? And yeah, and then when a new manager comes in, yeah, it feels a bit deflated when you don't feel the same as what the previous manager did. And yeah, it was a bit hard to take at the time. And I did know it was going to be moving on.
And then, yeah, when it comes to moving, do you have an agent at that point? Are you kind of trusting the club in terms of what's coming in?
No, I don't have an agent, but the PFA has started giving a bit of. I think they had an access to a agent base. I think they had an apartment in there, so I went with them, and to handle if I had to move anywhere or if I had to do anything. And yeah, so that's what I did. I went with them, and I heard rumours, because I think we played Lincoln early on in the month before I left. And there was rumours saying that how they wanted to sign me. And I was like, right, okay. I don't know much about this John Beck, and I'll see when we play them how they play. And I remember noticing that everyone was quite tall and big and strong, and they had a certain way of playing. And I thought, right, okay, all right, it'll be interesting if they do. And yeah, about a month later, then that it all went through, and they told me that I was, well, time to go. Basically, didn't really get much of a choice, and so I went down for talks and had a chat. And like I say, first time I've done all that, and the agent was Colin Gibson. He used to be at a Villa, right back and stuff. So he had a bit more experience, and then he explained things well to me. And we talked and got sorted a deal out.
So what league were they in the league above at that point, or did they get promoted that season?
No, the same. It was the same league, and then
okay.
Once they moved the rest of that season, that's when they then got promoted and they went up and all stayed in League 3.
Okay. So what was that like? Did you play a role in getting promoted? Obviously.
Well, yeah. When my first game, I managed to score on my debut, and then I think I scored about 3 games in, what took him to the top of the league at the time, which was great feeling and everything. But with John Beck, you had a different training style completely to what was at Hull City. And yeah.
In what way? Sorry.
When I thought we did a lot of running and fitness work at Hull, it soon changed for what I needed to do on the pitch at Lincoln. You needed to be a lot fit. I thought I was quite fit. You needed to be a lot fitter. So I basically blew out. So I was trying to do what they were doing in their training, plus trying to play them games. And yeah, I think just after Christmas, it was like, wow, I am shattered. That was it. I finished. But so yeah, there was all the eventful stuff, and yeah, very much on the weights and creatine and supplements, and yeah, and I was doing the creatine wrong, what they told me to do, so I was taking too much of it. So performances were like, I was like, I don't feel right going out onto the pitch. And yeah, that's when the start of sort of the sports science started coming in. So then yeah, I had a little bit of influence in going up then, but the majority of the squad who were already there then took it on once he got sacked, and then yeah, they managed to get promoted in the end, which was good.
And then there a few ups and downs with them as well, but kind of on a personal level, you were still scoring goals.
Yeah, and that's again, it was injuries, because like say I did get to a point, and then my body just I got a hamstring injury again, and then my body just felt rubbish, and then I had a chat with the manager at the time at Lincoln, because John Beck just got sacked, and then the assistant took over with Phil Stant, and the manager, the assistant thought he was a bit better than what he was at the time, but he got promotion, so he was giving it, right, you need to do this, that for next season, or otherwise it's, I'll look to move you on, sort of thing. That. So yeah, I probably needed something like that. Once I got used to the training and got used to that, I thought I managed to kick on a bit and start going, right, okay, let's start thinking about how I want to do this football thing and how to progress in my career. And yeah, once the assistant got sacked and the chairman took over, he put me back in the side, and I was like, when your actual owner of the football club puts you in the side, and then I was like, okay, I'm all right then for a bit. That was a bit of a weird one when you got the chairman actually managing the football club. Yeah. Another strange thing. So yeah, I've had a bit of strange goings on in football in my career, but yeah, that was a bit of an eye-opener.
What was that like? Did he know what he was on about, or not really?
He did and he didn't. It was more of a fan. So, in the fan, you could say in the stand, oh, why don't you do this? Or why didn't you do that? It was more that. And then Phil Stant would be more of the football coaching aspect of it, and said, look, this is what he means by. And so it was a bit weird that you didn't really have respect for him to tell you how to then play the game and what formation and whatever you used. You left that to Phil. But as just the chairman just making decisions, it was strange. It wasn't the norm, and I know why other chairmen don't do that, because I don't think it works in the end. But I don't like, again, just like with Terry Dolan, the chairman was great with me because he brought me back to the side, so he saw something.
Yeah, and then obviously the build up to you getting a big move to Cardiff. Like, at what point did you know that was going to happen?
Well, that start of that season, started off quite well, and we were topping head to head with Brighton, and Bobby Zamora was there at the time, I think. So I think I had about 11 or 12 by Christmas, and he was about 13 or 14 or something like that. So it was quite good, and it felt, even though the team were at the top, but they were trying to do stuff. We had a good squad. We had quite a decent squad. And that's what happens when you got a bit of confidence. When you go out to the pitch, you just feel that, yeah, it's a different feeling to, it's hard to explain, to not having it. It's you go on and you're thinking, all right, I can score. I am. So when you go in 1 in 3, I think it was, I was like, oh, okay, I can see this. And then rumours again with Lincoln, because they had financial issues as well, and they said, all right, okay, we're going to need to, I think I was in a piece in Phil Stant's book. He wrote a book, football book, and he talked about that period as well, about my selling me. And you think he was told that, right, we need to get rid of a few players to get some money in. And he said, right, okay, well, if a firm offer comes in, Gavin can go. And Cardiff decided to, was looking for a new striker for some reason, and went for me. And then I was told that, right, okay, Cardiff are coming for you. We don't want you to go, but you're going. And that was it. So, right, okay. And then just before Christmas it was, went down, stayed in a hotel, watched the game, had a meeting with the chairman, the chief exec, and then the heads of the fan groups as well.
All right.
So that was another one. So I've gone in there, I've gone, right, okay, this went like at Lincoln. I only had a meeting with the chairman. But yeah, I've got a whole lot of people in there. And so all of these people had to like me before I before we got signed on, and luckily they did, and then I got moved down there.
Who was the manager for Cardiff at the time?
It was Alan Cork. So Sam Aman was the chairman, just moved.
Right.
I think just got the club, and then he brought in Alan Cork, and then Alan Cork was the manager at the time. So that was,
and like third division. Were they third division at the time?
it was same.
So I mean, that is a big transfer fee at the time, isn't it, for a third division team? $500,000.
Yeah, they were literally getting and buying a whole new side to try and go to, like say, the Premiership at the time when it just changed. So yeah, that's what they were doing. They had a plan, and I think I was about the fourth player in that plan, because they bought people from like Arsenal, youth league team, and West Brom as well, like Danny Gabidon and Reece Weston from Arsenal, and already had Ernie there, Robert Earnshaw. So yeah, they had a good plans, and because when we played them down there, I managed to score 2 goals against them at Ninian Park as well. So I think that caught their radar as well, because they were looking for a striker. I think they were looking at my strike partner, Tony Battersby, but then I managed to get a couple there, but they won 3-1 and 3-2 in the end. So that put me on their radar instead, and they then a month later they went through with it and got a signing.
Yes. I've got a vague memory of you scoring against City at some point. Did that happen?
I did, yeah. I came back. So I came back for Lincoln, and I was thinking, how it's going to be, because I didn't leave on poor terms. I got literally told I'd get out, and I come out, and then I think the fans booed me.
Right.
I went, cheers.
It's probably because you're doing well.
Yeah, well, and then so did that. I went, okay, fine. So played, and then I managed to notch again, and so I sort of gloated a little bit, but not too bad, nothing too bad, because I still knew people, so I still went back to Hull. So I know if I gloated too much, things could badly happen to me if I went out there. So I sort of just reminded that I could score, but I just didn't play that many games. That's all. Never mind. But yeah, we did.
Yeah, you got a couple more promotions with Cardiff, didn't you?
Yeah, no, those were good times. They were. Like I say, we created a good squad and an expensive squad. It did bankroll it. That's why they had troubles after I left, after my contract ran out in 2004. After that, I sort of came to a head out how much he actually paid to get them to where they were in the Championship. And he had to leave abruptly, old Sam Herman, and but they got to the Premiership in the end, didn't they? And they did well.
True, yeah. What was he like? Obviously, sounds like you've had a few mad earners over the years, but he's obviously known as being a bit of a character. What was he like to work with?
Yeah, he's like I say, the point where I think at Cardiff we played the FA Cup against Leeds. It was live on TV, didn't he? And at Cardiff they got like a wave sort of thing, and the Ayatollah where you bounce on that, put your hands on your head, and the chairman's walking. At that time, as another, the fans made it a grudge match, so it was a sellout TV night game. Atmosphere was ramped up, and
I think I remember it.
Yeah, you got the chairman walking around inciting the fans, just building them up, just to get them even more. And then we start playing the game, and obviously the fans going crazy. And then I think Hart had a throwing on the far side, and he was just about to take it, and a whiskey, those small whiskey bottles, flying past his head, and he went. You could see it just draining his face, like he didn't want to be there. And I think that's what made the game, and it's intimidated them basically and stopped them from playing. And we managed to, just outwork them and got the goal and got the 2 goals, and they got 1. And it was a bit, because they were the top of the league at the time as well and everything. Got the big stars, Rio Ferdinand, Viduka, Smith.
Oh, right, okay.
Foul, they were a good side, and we managed to pip them off and move on.
Yeah. Yeah, just to kind of summarize your time at City then. Do you remember like the toughest opponent you faced at Boothferry Park, maybe when you first started out?
Yeah, that has to be the Bradford game. It was because, like I say, I didn't have many to compare it with, and like I say, 16-year-old coming on, starting a game in that magnitude and with that pressure. Yeah, it was. I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, it was great, and that's why it sticks in the memory. And I can still remember the day, and remember the atmosphere and how it felt, and just the craziness of the police on horseback in the stadium coming on the pitch, sending fans back. It was you can't forget that, and it was great. No.
Are there any like particular players for the opposition? Obviously 16 at the time. Would they kind of try and bully or get on your head? Ever?
Yeah, there was a few that I remember when we played Exeter away. I got told to mark Noel Blake at a corner, and a 16-year-old. Noel Blake's huge, big man, and I went, right, mark him. I think I can't remember who it was. I think it was Warren or someone said, yeah, put your hand in his chest, get touch tight to him. So I put my hand on him, and he went, get your hand off me now. Right, okay. So that sort of thing that was the football then. It was a lot more banter, a bit more joyful, and right, I'm going to snap your legs or something like that, just messing around, just to try and get into your head, to try and get you off your game. And yeah, no, it was, and like I say, with Williams, and when he did it, so yeah, that's what it was, and that's the atmosphere, and that's what you want. That's what football was for me, and I'm glad I got to do that. And yeah, they were good times.
So how do you reflect on your time at City then? Obviously very formative years for you. Yeah, how do you look back on it?
No, it was great. I wouldn't change anything really. Moving from home, the first time away from home, living in digs. The first digs what they put me in weren't the best. It was just around the corner. It's supposed to be the best digs out of the lot, and it weren't, because we only had like bowls on the table. We weren't allowed to go in the cupboards. When I literally had one bowl of cereal, we weren't allowed to have the box, just in case I had more than one, that sort of thing. So we sort of went, right, okay, we're not happy here. So they moved us, and it was great after that. But yeah, no, knowing the city, and yeah, the people welcomed me great, and the squad we had and the youngsters we had were good, and we still speak now and then. We do meet up on occasions when we can, and yeah, it was great times. And yeah, I won't really change much. I probably could have done a bit more work wise, but I could have got myself fitter quicker. But you only learn that as you go on, and maybe I would have lasted longer in the game. But yeah, that's the only thing really. Just the fitness wise, I could have probably dealt with a bit better. But other than that, it was been good.
And what have you gone on to do since retiring from football?
Because it was quite abrupt. It's when if you remember when the credit crunch hit quite a while back.
Okay.
2006. Yeah, 2006. I didn't. Luckily, I saved up a bit. So once I got injured in 2006, I went to sign for Crawley. I was at Notts County and didn't get on with the manager. He used to be at Stoke. I forgot his name. Tor Johnson, or whatever his name is. Me and him got on, so I don't know. But yeah, we terminated contract halfway through that, and I went to Crawley to play for a bit, and I pulled my hamstring for the last time. But it didn't pull in a normal place like it would. It pulled behind the knee, and it just wouldn't attach back properly at all. So it just kept breaking down, like the thin part of the muscle. So it took me about 2 years to try and sort that out, and eventually it didn't work. And so I stopped out for a year, and then I had my child. Well, my second child, my daughter, and then I stayed at home with her for that year. And I went, right, okay, we'll see what happens now. And if I can't go back, I'll look to go in coaching or doing a business degree or whatever, do something. And then, let's say the credit crunch hit. So I had to find a job quite quickly. And I got to be, I joined the post office. So I'm a postman at the moment. So
Okay.
I did that for a bit because it was quite good. It worked with my partner's timings as well and everything. So I did that and I stayed with it because it sort of worked. But I did try and did the coaching thing and the football thing. But where I'm based now, it's a bit further out than where it probably would be beneficial for me to be at a club and do things. And so, yeah, I just stuck with that and did a bit of non-league stuff. And I found out that coaching probably went for me. So I'm currently the vice chairman or acting chairman at the moment at the former players of Lincoln City former players. So that's what I do now in my spare time. So I've been trying to help organise stuff with them and promote that aspect. It's more of a community-based thing rather than working with the actual football club. So, which I prefer to do. I like to work with the people and try and help out in community and try and raise the profile of working with them. So that's what I'm currently doing at the moment.
All right. So that's obviously the area that you've kind of got the most affinity with, kind of Lincolnshire and Lincoln area.
Yeah. So once that's where my partner is from.
All right. Okay.
So once I had my children, one was in Cardiff. I had my son in Cardiff, and then we moved back up here when I went to Notts County, and I stayed just outside Nottingham, just to so an hour's commute. So I thought once my children are at the age of school age, I don't want to be the one of them people who move them around to different schools. And so I said, right, I'm going to base here. I will commute, and at least they'll have a steady standing to then start their life with and do their stuff. And it's a lot better place to bring up the children. It's than say somewhere like Manchester or the middle of yes, you get the big city and everything, but I think it's a bit more quiet and a bit more safer for them here. And but like the decision was quite good because there seem to be quite good children at the moment. So
yeah, fair. Good. And is Lincoln kind of your team now? Is that the one?
Yeah, but that's
look out for.
Well, Man City is my actual first team because I actually watched more of their games with the schoolboys. So if someone said, who do you support? It's Man City. But yeah, Lincoln is my so-called second side now. It's because I do a lot more with them and promoting of what they do in the community and what they do in the pitch now. So yeah, there are more of who would class as my side now. Yeah.
Been doing all right recently, haven't they?
Yeah, they like I say, once they went down to the conference and they managed to get the right manager in, well, the managing team in.
So the Cowleys,
yeah, to get them back to some sort of back to the league they're in now. So yeah, and they had a great run with it and the profile and with the FA Cup and the running FA Cup and the league, not the League Cup, the I don't know what you call it because it was the LDV Cup at the time. I don't know what cup that is. What you call it?
What is it now? It's Papa John's, is it, or Johnson
Yeah.
Paint or something?
So that cup, when they won that, didn't they? So yeah, that was a good ride, and seeing how the fans reacted in the city, and it's quite big. It's bigger than what you think it is, and it's well supported because you've got so many different villages and on the outskirts. It's quite a big county, so it does gravitate when the team does well. You get a lot of people at the ground and who will sell out. And I think there was about 28,000 at the at Wembley. So yeah, and there could have been a lot more as well. So it's not bad if they do well. So hopefully it'll continue and this manager can move them forward.
Yeah, it'd be good if Hull got them in the cup or something. It's always I think every away day since Bank we seem to lose, but it'd be a good away day now, I think.
Yeah, no, and I'm still trying to get back to actually I haven't been to the new stadium yet, so I want to go and watch a game. I was trying to watch a game with either Cardiff or Lincoln, like I said, because I think I was in a program, one of them, they put half and half, where half my my history of the whole side time, and then half my history on the Cardiff side when they last played, and I got the program, they sent it to me, which was nice of them. So yeah, I do want to go back and actually watch a game with hopefully two of the clubs where I played with. So yeah, hopefully sooner or later I can do that.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of programs at City that you managed to get on the cover of. That must have been. Did he get the piss taken out of a new 16-year-old for that, or did he be quite proud of it? Obviously.
No, it was quite good because I actually got a few man of the matches as well. So I still got the used to get a glass, and then he's got a tanker. So I've got loads of little things, and they were good. It was good. It was good times, and I've seen online. You see one where I think I'm like that one in the sun, and that was probably the first one. And yeah, it was good. It was just starting my new hair, and it was. No, they were good times, and like I say, the banter in the changing rooms, and we had a good group of players, young lads, YTs. Like I said, we still speak to now. Yeah, didn't give me too much grief, but I was quite a paid YT at that time, so I was one of the highest earners there. So they had a bit more respect for me, so it was quite good. At least I could come back that in that aspect.
Yeah.